Welcome back, advanced students. Okay, so in this video we're going to look at the shell code for the lab that has you writing the code to handle collisions 3 different ways. So in the worksheet in the last video we went over the 3 different types of collision handling that you're going to be writing code for. On the back they start to talk about the setup for the program. It's not we'll go through the program itself, we'll go through the code, but first I wanted to point out this object.hash code. So in the object class, remember, you'll recall that the object class is the grandparent all the way up the chain of every object, and in the A course, we would override the toString so that the object would print the way we wanted it to. But there is a hash code method that comes with all objects that you can call to get a hash code returned to you. So that is what this was referring to here. And then the trick to find a valid index for your array is then to mod by the array length, that hash code. So I just wanted to show you here's just a simple program. It's got a parent object. I just made a simple, silly parent class. Doesn't really have anything, doesn't really do anything. I then called the hash code function and printed that right here. I called the toString and printed it here, and since it's not overridden, this comes from the object class's toString. And then I showed that objects, Java defined objects like string also have this hash code function that you can call and get some sort of code back based on the data, based on where the object is stored in memory. In the object class, toString itself actually uses the hash code and does this hex to string conversion on it. So that's kind of an interesting, that's just sort of an aside. So just wanted you to see that is indeed a method that's been there all along that we are going to use. So we're going to see that when we walk through the code. So this is the shell code. In the main, I didn't even see if it runs yet. So it does, oh duh. There's a lot of code for you to write. So it's not going to compile, not going to run. So in the main method, it is going to have a pop-up window come up, and you're not really provided test samples like you usually are. So I might see if I can find them somewhere, but I think you can just make up. So you're basically going to make up some data, loads in some random data, and you're going to be you'll see these simulations go and see what's happening when you add new items, so you can kind of test it yourself. So just go straight into the code and then worry about the testing later. So here the hash table gets created called table, and the type of table is either going to be one that handles collisions with linear probe or with rehash or with chaining. So these are the 3 classes that you're going to be delving into down below. So this is just the interface for all those 3 classes. They all are going to have an add method to add a new object, and they're all going to have an index of to find an object in the array and return the index of the object. So the first one, linear probe, here's the array that's going to hold the things you want to store, all the objects. So you need to write this constructor. So almost everywhere you see a comment, there's a couple places that don't have a comment where you have to write code, but if you see these comments, that's somewhere you need to be writing code. So you're going to need to initialize this array. So for the add, you're being passed this object, and you can see the first thing that happens is you get the hash code for that object into this variable, and then you can see that it's being modded by the array length to find a valid index for it. So with the linear probing, you then want to know if that, remember, you want to know if that element's empty, and if it is, you're going to store that object there, and if it's not, you're going to go and look at the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So here you need the check for, is this array element empty? So I'm going to let you think about what you would ask there for that. And if it is, then this object that got passed needs to be stored at that index. If not, there's a collision, that means there's something already there, then you're going to print that the collision occurred, and then you're going to call the linear probe method down here, which has nothing in it, and that's going to return the index where the object needs to be added. So this is where you're going to need to be looping linearly till you find an element, or to find an open spot in your array. We're not going to worry about whether the array is full, resizing an array, that kind of thing, but you should be able to go find the next open spot, and you should know that you may need to wrap around. We talked about that. If you hit the end of the array, you need to loop back to 0, return the index, and then it will be used here to add the object. When you look at index of, you're going to see something similar. So here, it's getting that code again. It's dividing by the length, so it knows the first index to look at, and if the first index is not null, then it's going to ask if it found it. And so you'll have to decide how you know whether you found this thing in the array or not at this index. And if you do, you certainly want to return the index. And if not, you want to go look at the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. So you can have the loop here, or you can just have this set to the next index and have it come back around, which I think might be easier to do. So this can come around. Is that it? Yes, return. If it's not it, get the next index of your linear probe and go check again. If you go and you find a null, then that means it's not there at all, and that's when you want to return your -1. Okay. For the rehashing, it's going to look similar at first, but remember, it's up to you to come up with that constant. And we talked in the last video about how to find k such that it is relatively prime with the array length. So here's the array length. You need to find the first value that does not have a common factor other than 1 with this. So you're going to need something in here to determine that. And that constant will stay for the life of this array. All right, we still have an object array. Still going to get the hash code, still going to do the modding. The insert and everything's going to look the same, but here in the collision, we're going to call this rehash method instead. And then here, that's where you need to be applying that math that we talked about again in the last video that was provided for you here. So you're going to take that address, not quite the address, really. Oh, take the index and add k and then mod by the length. So you can look at the worksheet for the code that you need to write here, and when you finally find an open index, you will return it, and then the item will be, or the object will be added to the array. So kind of a similar thing needs to be happening in index of, and as long as you don't find a null, because if you find a null, that means it wasn't found, but check if it's the object. If it is, return the index. If it's not, rehash, and then come back up and check again. Okay, so those two look similar. For the chaining, you're going to notice that it's an array of linked list, not an array of object like it was in the previous two. So remember, each element now is a linked list, and so you're going to instantiate the array itself to be the certain size, and then you're going to need to go through and instantiate every linked list. And so rather than instantiate it when you add the first object to each element, you just get them all started. They're all empty, there's nothing in them, but you can initialize all the linked lists. So when you want to add an object, this one's already been written for you. There's the hash code, you mod by the length, and you just add first. So if there's something there, this will be pushed in front of it in the linked list. If there's nothing there, it'll be the first thing added to the linked list because you initialized it up here. When you go to look for it, You're going to use the same method to find the index to look at. And then in here, you're going to need a way to see if, so if it's empty, if it's not empty, you're going to start going and you're going to say, is it this thing? And if it's not, and here you need a loop where you're going to be looping through the linked list. If the array index is empty, then you're going to bump down here for the not found. Also, if you're going through this, there may be a chance that it's not in the linked list. So there's a chance that it still isn't found just because you're in there. So I'll let you look at that, but I think that gives you enough to get started with the code. So reach out if you have any questions, and happy coding.